Hey everyone, this is John Kite Jr. This is the first episode of the Cornerstone Group podcast. I'm joined by the owner and Integrity Group partner, John Kite. Thank you for joining me on our first episode today, owner of the Cornerstone Group.
You're welcome.
All right, so we just want to dive in and talk about kind of like we'll be doing this as a series and the art of building an insurance agency and why it can be sometimes or why we think it's the best, business model out there in the United States. And really maybe just talk about, from a part-time standpoint, we'll talk about your journey, starting again in 2016, how that kind of helped you and, the way the economy has changed over the last couple of years, why that could be really good for someone, even if they don't have that passion that we have of owning their own business and an insurance agency. But that's stuff we'll get to in the later episodes. But I kind of want to start from the beginning of you, and kind of like you were talking the other day, and I think this is perfect timing. We talk about we have the Olympics going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of these Olympians chasing gold medals. Okay? You always talk about the story. You're either chasing gold medals or you're running from German shepherds. And, meaning that you're chasing the accolades or you're running from something.
Right.
And you always talk about, I think I'm saying this correctly, you were kind of running from something. And you didn't want to have that 9-to-5 job, but you didn't want to have the luxury house, the cars, but you more really wanted to have the time. When did you kind of decide, when did you kind of see in your life that you wanted to have that, just the time? When did you have that desire? And then kind of did it start by seeing your granddad, who was a successful entrepreneur, business owner? He had his own dentist in our small town of Smithfield, North Carolina. But you always talk about how you have luxurious beach houses. You have two of them down in Carolina Beach, which is about 2 hours from us here in Raleigh. But you never had the time to enjoy them. Was that kind of it? Or when was it that you kind of knew you wanted to have the freedom of owning the business?
Well, I hope that this forum, the podcast forum, I hope that it truly helps people. Hopefully, people will plug in, because I really feel like we can get out some really good quality information, real information, without it, being hyped up or being, having a ulterior motives and things like that. But yeah, so building for me has become a lifestyle. It was when we first started our business. Your mom and I, we started in network marketing. I was coming from the golf industry, and she was working in downtown Raleigh for an attorney. And the thing is that you don't know what you don't know, right? And growing up and watching my granddad and him being such a positive influence in my life, it was interesting how when I was shown an opportunity and somebody talked about freedom, it's interesting how basically my experience with him tied into that. Because I had never understood anything like what the guy was talking about, like financial freedom. Like I didn't even know, like, what is he talking about?
Like, what class did they teach
Yeah,
in school?
because all I was ever taught was go to school, get a good education, get out and get a good job. I didn't get good grades, and so I didn't get a good education. So I sort of felt like I was doomed, for mediocrity. And the other thing that I heard was find something you love to do and go do it. So I wanted to stay competitive. I loved sports. And so I went into the golf industry. Just logically, that seemed like the right thing to do. But after 4 or 5 years of doing that and attaining the highest level, what at that time called a Section A PGA level, attaining that level, I just really was thinking that at that time, like, I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. I was 25 years old, and so it was shortly after that I saw that business plan, and it really. I don't know if that sowed a seed in me or if it just really started bringing out the harvest of being an entrepreneur, because I even though nobody ever taught me business ownership or nobody ever taught me about what an entrepreneur was, I certainly had a desire to do my own thing, to own my own business. And so when that was presented to me, it seemed like, man, this is what I've been looking for all my life. Um, and gold medals and German shepherds, yeah. I mean, the way that story was taught to me, and at a time in my career when I really needed it. Was taught that, successful people, they run, they go on runs, they go on 90-day runs. They you see them, and they're working towards their dreams, and I think we do that most effective in 90-day runs. But um, people talk about the things that they want, and the way he talked about it, the gentleman that taught it to me, was that, so people do run. It's just some people run for things, and some people run from things. And so running from German shepherds, which was me, I was running from what I knew I didn't want. I didn't want to go work a job for 40. I didn't want to go work for somebody else's dream for 40 plus years of my life and wind up with nothing. I didn't want to go do that. And so that was enough to get me running. Now, some people, they need the gold medals. They need, the houses, the cars, the money, and all these things. And listen, they're nice. We've been blessed by them all. But I'm just thankful that I found what I needed from my motivation to go run and to go do the things that I needed to do to go earn my freedom.
That's awesome. I think we found our next topic in what you're saying, talking about the 90-day Mad Men cycle.
Yeah.
And why 90 days. I think that would be a great topic for these people to learn about, so where they can learn, where they don't get burnt out, do something for 90 days, take a little break. But that's something we'll get in on a later topic. So let's transition now into the life insurance model. Okay, you were definitely approached by a lot of people at the course that you were a pro at about life insurance, but you didn't want to do anything with it, and never, be careful what you wish for, people. You actually ended up doing it, and now look at you now. So, see, you being a big fan of Ray Kroc and the Hamburger University, and I know it's crazy. I failed as a son. I haven't showed you the founder yet. Maybe that's something that we can watch in your future.
I like to watch it.
But you kind of lived it. You read his stuff like Hamburger University. You're talking about the fat-filled, gray-filled hamburger and him turning it into like a model.
Yeah.
How did you kind of see that for life insurance, and why have you kind of seen that as the best model? Maybe, low cost to getting into business where a lot of people spend a lot of money, or what was it for you that changed your mind?
Well, what I'm a fan of is, and it's not necessarily Ray Kroc, but I'm a fan of having a system. If you have a system, and that system is duplicatable, then as long as you have a theme that is viable, whether it's fast food, hotels, car dealerships, life insurance, real estate, it really doesn't matter. But whatever theme you inject in there, you're injecting into a system. A system is a way of doing business. A system, either you have a system or you have chaos. And so system is eliminating chaos. It's eliminating the well, I feel like I need to do this today, or I feel, and so every mistake you make in business costs you money and time. And so you can't make so many mistakes in business and expect to succeed. I don't care how well intentioned you are. And so that's why systems mostly win. So that's what I'm a fan of. And so when I saw life insurance, and I saw how a system was in place and life insurance was simply the theme. It was the hamburger, it was the pizza pie, it was the multi-meat sandwich. It was a beautiful thing because of the margins in life insurance. It was incredible. I wish, at that time of my career, I just remember thinking, man, I wish I would have seen this when I was 25.
Right.
Because, being able to go out on my own pen and make a great income instead of suffering financially.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been able to go out, because when I did find mortgage protection, life insurance in 2016 when I joined Equus, I mean, my first full year, I made over 220,000 on my own pen. And so it would have been really nice to all those years that your mom and I struggled, because we were developing ourselves, we were building a business, but we were living hand to mouth on financially.
Right.
I was doing part-time jobs, I was changing oil, I was cutting grass, I was doing those things. So it would have been nice having something like life insurance where I could go earn that type of living while I built my business.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the best of both worlds. I think it's the epitome of having your cake and eating it too.
Gotcha. No, you're certainly right. Last question as we kind of wrap up, seeing all the business models, especially now, in the year of 2024. Um, I know you kind of like just answered it, but let's talk about e-commerce. People going out and finding like a niche or something like that people take to and like of a product that people go on Amazon, whether it's that Bitcoin e-trading thing, any like of these new startup type business that's recently have happened in the last couple of years. Go back and talk about if you're starting it now, why you would kind of like choose life insurance and kind of do that path again if you had to start all over today.
Well, I mean, those businesses that you mentioned, I don't know anything about them. So, but to me, I mean, life insurance is a beautiful opportunity. So whether somebody is starting out part time or whether they're looking for a full time career, like I just mentioned, the opportunity to go out literally on a part time basis and make an incredible full time career type money.
Part time, yeah.
Yeah, part time, like for a single parent to be able to, because you need a flexible schedule. If you've got kids in school or whatever, you can literally be in your home, setting your schedule every day, doing virtual sales, and 2 to 3 day a week commitment. You can realistically go earn a six-figure income. I don't know many. I don't know any other places to go do that. And then to be able to duplicate yourself on top of that, by literally hiring people, by just saying, "Hey, look at what I'm doing." So in other words, I'm not recruiting you. And if you want to see what I'm doing, log on. I'll be doing a presentation this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Log on, see what I do. Log on to my next dial session. See how many times I text my clients to set appointments. So if you want to learn how to make 150 a year part time, like I'm doing, then look at what I'm doing. I think that's the best opportunity meeting in the world, is inviting people to see what you're doing. That's what I did when I was in the car traveling all over Eastern North Carolina. Because I needed to cash flow $5,000 a week. I mean, literally, if when I was hiring somebody, if they needed more than just me telling them what I did over the phone, then I would say, "Hey, come ride with me." I'm usually in the field Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I book my calendar on Saturday morning. So plug in.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I do. I can't guarantee that you're going to see yeses, but what I can guarantee you is that you're going to see the process that I'm doing in setting my schedule and doing my in-home presentations, which now everybody does virtually. But so I can guarantee that you're going to see the process that I'm doing to make the type of money I'm making. And so either people were going to do it or not, I didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And I think that's one of the things that definitely changed for me. So seeing that model when we rode that day, even though we had one sale, it was more than I made 2 weeks
Yeah, you rode
working
with me. That's right.
working in the golf course in the golf industry. Kind of funny how things work out for the both of us, both being in the golf industry. But I think for people that are listening and tuning in, you kind of said this and wrap it up. You made your money, your business. And I think this is crazy. So I'm gonna go really slow when I say this back. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you basically really kind of just work a half day on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
If that, yeah.
if that, and then Thursday and Friday you're kind of doing interviews, kind of like.
Well, a lot on Thursday and Fridays I was recuperating. I mean,
Yeah.
because I was on the road in houses physically, and that took a physical toll.
Right.
So theoretically, yes, I did interviews and stuff like that, but a lot of my Thursdays and Fridays and Saturday afternoons and Sundays were getting ready to hit the road next Monday. So I don't ever want to not tell people the truth of what I did to make my money, because to go from having to borrow money from you to pay a utility bill to literally 3.5, 4 years later being just shy of $1 million a year income. I always want to be very honest in what I actually did to go do that. And so I think some people paint a picture of, yeah, I went and sold Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then I did interviews and built my business and everything went out. I mean, when I was in the field Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, those Mondays started really early leaving that driveway.
Yeah.
Because I had 2.5 hours to even get into my area where I sold.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times my nights didn't end until well after 9 o'clock. Yeah, 9, 10 o'clock. You have those late appointments, and then I chose to drove home because I wanted to be I wanted to be here as much as I could. I would stay out in a hotel room sometimes, but so again, when I got through with that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was at the time I was 48 years old, so there was recuperating time. Yeah, I was ready to do nothing for a couple of days, and so I would go out and play golf on Thursdays and Fridays. I would go walk, and a lot of times I'd go play golf by myself.
Yeah.
In other words, I was resting.
So a lot of people aren't out there on Thursday.
I was resting, mentally, physically, spiritually. I was resting.
Talking about that, working really hard. I saw this as a joke, and we'll wrap up as we're almost out of time. Talking about, I think it was this morning, videos of, the foreplay guys talking about John Rock, Terrell Hatton, and the live guys. And, I think Terrell Hatton was going to go make $220 million this year. And it's like, oh, you got to, you need to come back, earn your stripes. And how they related to it is, which doesn't happen in owning your own business. But it's like how they're relating to it is if me and you were having a conversation and I told you, hey, I got this new job. They're going to pay me more to do less work.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, you got to come back and earn your stripes. It's like, I'm looking at you like, no, you're kidding. Like, I ain't doing that.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of funny. But no, you literally physically work. And I think it's amazing what people could do now if you take away minus that driving time. For sure.
Yeah.
You're still running, you're still working hard because doing the virtual sales, at the end of the day, I'm still worn out. But I just do it from the comfort of my home, which makes it a little
virtually, people, and the honest truth is that people are having to invest more because the closing ratio is lower.
Yeah.
People are having to invest more to create the same numbers because, I mean, it's just a fact. And so just let's be honest with that fact.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a good conversation to go talk into more about the pros and cons about it because you see kind of like gas prices now, so you take that gas money and you put it more into that. But there's pros and cons and everything. You just have to know. You have to understand, I guess, the black and white of it. Read in between the lines of it and know kind of like what you're signing up for. If that makes sense. Yeah. Well, John, I think this was a great first episode. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to doing more of these opportunities and bringing more to the people. Because I think more of the things out there is how to go out and sell life insurance. And I think we want to come and say, hey, I'm going to show you how to build a life insurance agency using a system like Ray Kroc had. And thank you to Ben Clarkson and Equus, 2016 for giving you that opportunity, giving me the opportunity, because we think it's the best ones out there. So
Well,
thank you again for your time.
we're gonna be honest in how the process goes.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
You're welcome.